Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this new year, 2016. We approach it with optimism and with hope. We thank you for those you selected to lead this city, for our mayor, for the city council, for their dedication and service to the city of Hazel Park. We thank you for our administrators, our city manager, and all of his staff that work behind the scenes so diligently. We thank you, Father, for our first responders, those who put their lives on the line to serve this city. May you continue, Father, to protect them as they're out on the streets. We thank you for hope, for the hope of Hazel Park. We thank you, Father, for the work that's being done, for the progress that's being made, providing an excellent city for families. We ask your wisdom, Father, for all the proceedings tonight. And may any decision that's made be according to your will. All these things we ask. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me, approval of agenda.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Mr. Klobuchar, a special presentation.
Yes, we have Mr. Tawdry here from the 8 Mile Boulevard Association, wants to make a special presentation to the City Council. Gordon?
Ed, Council, thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. My name is Jordan Twardy. I'm the Executive Director over at the 8 Mile Boulevard Association. Part of my job each year is to come to every one of our member cities and townships and provide an update on our activities over the past year and a little quick preview of what we've got going on in 2016. I'll do my best to be brief and allow some time for questions, and I'll try to make it as little like a timeshare as possible. So just for the new faces and for some of the residents in the audience, just for the benefit, just to give a quick overview of who we are and what we do. The 8 Mile Boulevard Association, or 8MBA for short, was founded in 1993 by the communities and counties along 8 Mile Road between I-275 and I-94 to revitalize and promote the corridor by, one, linking the efforts of all of those cities, counties, and the state, but also the private sector as well. You had a lot of stakeholders kind of going it alone for decades, and it wasn't really getting things done. You got a lot of jurisdictions that come together there just in our turf alone, because 8 Mile actually goes clear across the state. We deal with 13 cities, 3 counties, and 5 divisions of the Michigan Department of Transportation. So you can imagine how fun that is on a daily basis. So we do get a lot done, though. Since 1993, we've done a great deal of work to improve that corridor. And we do that work on really 3 avenues. The first is through business. The second through residential and neighborhoods, and the third is through government collaborations. So a couple examples of each. On the business side, we have a facade improvement program that actually this year we hit our milestone 24th project since 2008. We've done 24 projects. We give construction grants and design assistance to help improve the aesthetic appearance and property value of businesses along 8 Mile. We've attracted $2 million plus in private investment since 2008 with just over $140,000 in grants. So we get a pretty good return on investment on that. We also do business marketing, business to business, and promotion of the businesses on the corridor. We actually, just this past year, we did our first annual 8 Mile Holiday Haul. We did a big social media promotion. We highlighted businesses in each city along the corridor. And we gave out a big prize of a $350 gift basket from businesses all over the corridor, Meyer and Action Impact, all sorts of diverse businesses along the corridor that were highlighted. We also do, in the residential side, we do community cleanups, and we help block clubs form. We provide administrative support for block clubs. A lot of times grants go only to 501c3 nonprofits, which we are, and that's a lot to ask for a small resident group to do. So we'll serve as a fiduciary. We'll help them get grants, and we'll help them deploy them. We've made community gardens. We've painted fire hydrants. We've painted buildings. We've put up fences. All sorts of beautification projects to make neighborhoods safer, cleaner, and better. We do a lot of that work all over the corridor. Actually, the first Saturday in May every year is sort of our big corridor-wide blitz. It's called Hands on 8 Mile. We get about 200 volunteers a year, and we're always looking for projects. We tend to operate in that space sort of a half-mile north and south of 8 Mile. So, once you start getting further north or south, you start to identify with other parts of the cities. So that's sort of where we work. A couple initiatives that are coming up in 2016 that are big that we really want to make sure are on everyone's radar. Obviously, our leadership luncheon, that's our big fundraiser. Actually, Mayor Parisi was co-chair. I think that was just this past year,
it was.
honorary co-chair for the event. We try to shine a light on our cities, but that's a big event we do. It's a fundraiser. You get the mayor of Detroit and the 3 county executives, Wayne Oakland McComb, for a panel discussion. We had Charlie Langton last year. We're going to be locking up a new moderator this year. It's a really exciting show. It's a pretty cheap date, and it's a great opportunity to get to know these leaders. And it raised just shy of $100,000 for us programs just this last year. So we've been really building that event up. Friday, April 29th. The other big thing that's coming through is our 8 Mile Master Plan. So we've been around since '93. We had a founding vision document in '92. So for the first time in that span, we're going to have a comprehensive, not sort of a master plan like you all have in Hazel Park or your neighbors have, where it's sort of a lot of land use maps and sort of priorities. What we're going to have is pretty much a wedding registry of projects that we want to get done, tangible projects, what we want and where it'll go on 8 Mile over the next several years. Where are our targeted clusters, where are our heavy anchors, businesses that are driving jobs and driving economic development, and really starting to target our impact. To do heavier levels of investment. And we're going to be rolling that out over the next 24 months. And obviously we'll be doing charrettes in your communities. We'll be engaging the officials in each city. We work really closely with Ed and Jeff here at the City of Hazel Park, and so you'll all be involved in that. And then another big event, or another big opportunity that we're going to be doing is building out our facade improvement program. We got our first ever CDBG grant from the City of Detroit just last year. It was $100,000 to really expand the impact of our facades. Instead of just doing a one-off business on the corridor, how can we affect change in the neighborhood around it? So starting to layer investments, working with our partners. So those are just a few. In fact, if you go to 8mile.org, the word 8, the word mile.org, you can check out all of our different programs, and actually right on there on the front page under highlights, you can see where our action plan is, 3-year work plan called Action 2018. That was adopted by our board of directors just this past August. So with that said, I know it's kind of a lot of info. I did want to reserve time for any questions that you might have of us. Hazel Park is a dues-paying member of the 8MBA, and we really appreciate that. You've been with us since the founding, and so we try to work hard to make sure you get that value every year.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
It's been a good association. You guys see a lot of improvements going on. What is the, you have a mural possibly, the rail, 8 Mile rail?
Yes, so one of the bridges that we're working on, and there are 4, if I recall correctly, on 8 Mile. This one is at the State Fairgrounds. It's between Woodward and John R. And in terms of the jurisdictional jungle that this corridor is, that bridge, half of it's controlled by CN, half of it by Wayne County. Wayne County pays the lights, Ferndale mows the grass, DTE installs the lights. And so we've been unraveling over the course of the past 8 months. We've unraveled that whole thing, and we've had MDOT do a study of the condition of the bridge, because really on the Ferndale side, it's really beat up. So they did a report on that in September, and we actually have a conference call this month with CN and MDOT to come to sort of a conclusion. I'm not an engineer, so it's beyond my expertise, but there's sort of a war of ideas between the engineer at MDOT and the engineer at CN. So we're going to work to build a consensus with the two of them that will allow us to go forward in a way that we can put a mural on that bridge. We had Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. They're one of our board members, and they're a big sponsor every year. They had offered to help us pay for the cost of a mural. But when you had sort of rebar and concrete peeling off of the bridge, we didn't really want to put a mural over that. So we're going to work that out this year with CN and MDOT, figure out a way forward, get some new lights on there, and get a mural. And then 8MBA is coming to the table to say, we'll get a mural on there, and we'll maintain the mural for the life of it, as long as, you guys, it kind of being crass, do your jobs and maintain the bridge. So, we're working that out, and we have willing partners coming to the table. So we're using that as a model too, to look at all the other big, there's a random, in addition to bridges, there's some big concrete surfaces, rights of way in almost every community. We're going to look at this as a template for ways that we can beautify those. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Madam Mayor, the 8 Mile Boulevard Association is one of those important organizations that the City of Hazel Park's been a proud member of, I think, almost since the inception of the 8 Mile Boulevard Association. So they've helped us. We have gotten grants for our businesses through our membership. in this organization, and as he said, they put on, I think, one of the most important luncheons in the state every year at the end of April. So, again, we're proud members, we'll continue to be proud members, and thank you for the good work that you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Civics announcements. Beth Allen, please.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you.
A long time no see, too.
It was.
Civic announcement is the next Community Crime Watch meeting is next Tuesday, January 19th, 7 o'clock, Hazel Park High School. And right now, the fire department are scheduled to come in and give an overview of the CERTS program, which I understand is going to be starting up again. Starting. We haven't really started it completely yet. So they're going to be talking about that, and of course, we'll go over the crime stats, which wonderfully, crime is still down from where it used to be. So Tuesday, January 19th, 7 p.m., Hazel Park High School Media Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Suzette?
Good evening, Helene Zach, Oakland County Commissioner. Happy New Year, everybody. I do want to let you know that I was forwarded the Michigan Municipal League resolution on repealing the gag order of 571, and I'm in the process of having a resolution drafted for the Oakland County Commissioners, and I hope to suspend the rules and get that passed next week, but I'm trying, and I do agree with the position of MML. I thought you'd like to hear that.
Yeah, Madam Commissioner, we'll be passing a similar resolution in just a couple seconds.
Well, I understand multiple places, and so the more people that speak out, hopefully they will make some corrections. You've heard me talk about regional transit, and this is the year there will be some ballot millage proposal put before voters in November at the November election. I am pleased that I applied and was accepted to join the Citizens Advisory Council of the Regional Transit Authority, and I just want to do whatever I can to work on this initiative. So I was glad to see that I'm going to be sitting at the table, hopefully advising and championing this issue. I do feel strongly that regional transit is important to this end of the county especially. And there's no exact figure that's been set on the millage. What they're talking about is somewhere around 1.2 mils to enhance the regional structure of transit and to connect the existing resources. You know, there is a report out, the draft report is at the WWRTA Michigan website, and you can read it. There's an executive summary to learn more of what they studied and what they're proposing to do. And it's to make the right resources at the right places and times. We are clearly underserved at this end of the county for the potential ridership. So you will hear more from me over time. Any questions? Thank you.
Helene, I have one issue here. Chief Barner indicated that we have an issue with the county that is requiring us to purchase some new communications equipment as part of an upgrade that they're doing. And gee, this is an upgrade that we don't maybe necessarily agree is cost effective for our community. So I would, if...
Will you let me know?
Yes.
See, I know that we approved some things, and I always ask the question, you know, who exactly, and I've been told that, well, I need to hear about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me know.
The projected cost at this point is about 70,000 out of our
For
end.
new 911.
Yeah.
I hear you. I do always ask that question, though. And so we need to discuss it.
we have been forwarded a grand total of 1 911 text from the county in the past year. Is that correct, sir? So, again, I'm not sure that there is a prime need for this upgrade, so we would like to please look into that.
do you have something in writing that I can?
Yes, Chief
With it.
Varner has.
Unless you'd like me to explain it here.
If you would like to,
It's somewhat, it's rather lengthy.
okay, then why don't you just meet with the county commissioner then?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Helene, Zach.
Rachel Knopf. Good evening.
Hi, folks. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, Rachel and Stephen know we're back again for the Hazel Park Lions Club. So this is our, as we told the Lions last night, this is our 4th annual. We had a little discussion about this. He thought it was the 3rd. I was right, it was the 4th. So, as you see, it's an ongoing
Just
argument.
remember, Stephen, she's always right.
No matter what.
At least make him think that way.
Life will be easier for you.
Oh, don't give me ideas, Ed. So here we go. So I have a couple flyers I'm gonna leave up at the front here. So it's Saturday, February the 6th. Check-ins at 6:30. Bowling starts at 7. It's over at the Hazel Park Bowl. And it costs us $20 a person, which includes 3 games, shoes, and pizza. We do 3 things that night. We do a 50-50 raffle, Chinese auction, like where we have baskets and you take raffle tickets and you put them in a corresponding basket that you like to win. And then we do the paint stick game, which enters you for $10 into the opportunity of winning a 1 in 15 chance of winning $100. So it's a little better chances than trying to win the Powerball tomorrow night. So as we encourage anyone who come play our games, we do have games if you can't bowl, and you want to meet some really, really great people. The Lions Club does some great things with helping build ramps in the community, eyeglasses, hearing and eye vision tests for our kids. It's just an all-around very community-involved group. So if you don't want to bowl and you can't make it out that night because we hope it does not snow, you can sponsor a lane for $50, which will get your name or the business that you choose to buy in for, named to roll across the screens on the night of the bowling. I just want to announce to the council, next Monday, the 18th, I will be going around to solicit businesses. We've always had great support from our local businesses in donating, and we know that we have a couple of newbies, so we're going to have to get around to them and let them know about our Hazel Park community spirit and what's expected of them. So, anybody have any questions or comments?
It's always a fun time there.
Yeah, you guys always come and bowl and compete with each other, so that's always fun. So, like I said, if you want to come laugh at, hopefully I can get the school board to come out and bowl, and maybe I'll set you guys next to each other, and you guys can make a little competition.
We did do something like that a few
Yeah,
years
that'd be
back.
good, yeah.
A few years
Yeah,
ago.
we did.
About 3.
Yeah, we beat them pretty badly.
Well, we're a little more in shape now, so
Come one, come off.
so like I said, I'll leave a couple of flyers for anybody in the audience that'd like to take one. Our information, how to get a hold of us and to turn in. We look for teams of 4 because that's usually easier to get than teams of 5. 2 couples. Like I said, it's the weekend of the Super Bowl, but it is the Saturday before the Super Bowl's on Sunday, so it won't conflict with any of those problems. So we hope to see you guys there. Stephen's probably making faces behind me, so.
Exactly. Everybody here.
He's a nice young man.
Are you guys good? I'm assuming all of you will be
We're all
there.
going to be there.
So sign up
sponsor
all these
again.
people right here.
So I'll leave flyers and everything for anyone who wants to come out and bowl with us.
Can you get that on the cable? Or?
I can.
Fantastic.
Give me the
Thank you.
flyer and we'll take care of it and get that on, we'll post it on Facebook and some will share it to corkboard and everyone will know about it.
Corkboard's a good
Yes,
place.
Stephen has made an event, so I'll have him share it with you,
Okay.
so you can do that.
All right.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. Any more civic comments? Any more civic announcements? If not, post civic announcements. There you go. Thank you. Public comments. Any public comments? Sign up.
Start staying up closer to the front. Beth Allen, 305 West Milton. I wanted to go over, last night I spent 4 wonderful hours with you guys,
Yes, you were.
going over the city council work
Thank
study
you, you were so
session.
patient, and you actually stayed for the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really interesting,
was a long night.
the reason I want to talk about that is because the purpose of this meeting was to go over the department's achievements and goals, and all the department heads were here. And the number one takeaway I have from last night's meeting is there's no I in any department here. It is a team effort. Every department head went out of their way to say, my employees go out of their way to do this. I rely on them. They come in on their days off. They volunteer their time to the community. We couldn't do this without our employees and the concessions they make. And it was really pretty special to hear, because I know all these guys and gals, and for their bosses to single them out for praise and recognition, and to say that the success of this community isn't just a couple of restaurants or a bar, or that the property values are coming up. It's the people that are out there doing this. And one of the things that you just asked our county commissioner about, I wrote that down. It was $70,000 a text for that equipment if you base it on the one text that we got. So that was one of my, out of 19 pages of notes, one note. Another thing that was discussed, let me back up. Back to the department heads. Requests that were made, nobody asked for anything brand new with bells and whistles. It was, can we get a newer used street sweeper to retire the really ancient one that's broken down most of the time, and then the one that's running most of the time, keep that as a backup? Can we get the money to seal the roads that we just had redone, spend a penny now, save the pound it's going to cost us down the road if it's not done? Nothing extravagant, and everything was well thought out to make sure that repairs and infrastructure, things that are being done, and equipment is invested in and maintained. It was kind of an eye-opener on how things are run here. The only concern I had, and Chief Story and Barner both had, and I've said this when we were trying to work on the public safety millages, is my concern is attrition right now with our fire and police departments. We have been a revolving door, and it's not getting any better. We have got highly talented young men and women applying to work in this department, and the problem is they get the best training possible here. That you get urban and suburban here, and then once they've been here long enough, they can write their ticket anywhere they want to go. And I really would like to see something in this next budget. I'm begging you guys, do something to make sure that we keep this talent here, because our public safety is critical. And that's it. I wish you all a happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
you know what, I just want to thank, and I mentioned this a little bit last night, but I want to thank Beth Holland for all of her efforts that she undertakes on behalf of the city of Hazel Park. She is like a super volunteer. She works hard not only on neighborhood watch, but she's really taken a leadership role in the Hazel Park animal control facilities. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do some of the things that we're doing without her leadership over there. So I want to thank her and Lisa and some of the other folks over there that really, when I don't know everybody's names, but I will get them so that I can read them at a future meeting. But I want to specifically single out her for the many volunteer efforts that you undertake. Beth, thank you, really. We owe you a debt of gratitude for all you do. So thank you.
Any more public comments?
Richard Robbins, 819 East Muir, Hazel Park. Just wanted to keep the council in the public appraised of what I'm doing. I did a little volunteer work with the Hazel Park Historical Commission. Basically, I may be a member at some point, hopefully soon. And I'm doing a little bit of project and trying to copy the 1951 Hazel Park Palladium, which is a newspaper that was published here along with the Hazel Park News back in from 1938 to generally 1980. And we're going to be copying that and making that available for the general public to take a look at and read, and among other things. And I just wanted to ask the city a little bit of a question, and maybe the administration can answer this. Do you have a server space?
Do we have server space?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not to host all of those.
Okay. I was just
papers.
wondering, because
No,
it'd be a
we're-
good place to actually store all of these for safekeeping, so it's like something that could possibly be looked
Our
at.
servers are struggling to keep up with the amount of data that they're processing, just to
Okay.
do city business.
So I
Well,
guess one noted it is then, so.
We could look there, you look at the cloud, you could look at, there's a lot of different, areas where we could look at space. And we do have a little bit of a budget, so.
Right. Well, anyway, at some point, I'd like to see if I can get some of that, some of the links put up on the city's website somewhere. Maybe we can get, because like I said, it's a basic central place where people could actually go to look for something instead of Facebook or the blog that I put up at some point, but maybe it's something that the city could actually address. If I could publish some links there and they could take a look at it, it'd be better.
We are undertaking some revisions of our website to make it a little more user-friendly and to make it a little more understandable for the users. So give Jeff Campbell a call, I'm sure we can include the links.
Okay. I was going to ask, speaking of the website, I did notice that you guys were going to the Google platform as far as the calendar goes. That was because the front page of it, you've got a small calendar, and in the back of it, you have a larger Google calendar that has some city events. Should have a whole lot more. And I was just curious as to when the city may be planning in something like maybe providing some meeting minutes, packets, something that is available to put out for the public to actually take a look and see.
As soon as we get the revisions done, and I fill Jimmy's slot, and we have enough people to do these things, all of those things are planned, and those things should be coming online, I would say, within the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to that. All right, thanks a lot. See you guys later. Hopefully, guys, if you do have the opportunity, go to the cork board and see. Like I said, I do actually on the Hazel Park Historical Society, as it is right now. You can go there and take a look at some of those files that I've published there, and there's going to be more eventually. So,
And I thank you for your efforts on that. It was very interesting. The one that you found with respect to the dumping that was going on there during the construction at the track, that was a very interesting article because it tells a story.
right, it
of
does. It
our
does
current situation.
illustrate.
It has an impact. You see where some of that stuff came from.
Does illustrate a whole lot of things, why things are and why things were. Looking to resurrect the Historical Commission at some point. If anybody's interested in the Historical Commission, please volunteer if you can. If you're
We'll be
not,
making appointments tonight. Anybody want to volunteer?
right. Like I said, if there's somebody else that wants to, they can just jump up here and tell Ed, and they can put you on the commission. So, if there's nothing else, then I was just going to ask if you guys take a look at that. It'd be appreciated, and hopefully there's more coming.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Rich.
Thank you. Any more public comments? Any more public comments? Having none, closing public comments. Consent agenda.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I would move we approve the consent agenda with the change of moving items 12 and 13 to administrative items 3 and 4.
Support.
All in favor, okay. Administrative reports.
Madam Mayor, the administration requests approval of rezoning request for our Planning Commission case 16-1 from RA3 to M1. Jeff Campbell is here to speak on this issue, if you have any questions.
The Planning Commission took a look at this. This is a property that's owned by Amcol over on Dequinder. It's a slim property in the back. Basically, they want to use it. They are planning on erecting a 6,000 square foot building towards the back, which they're going to obtain site plan approval for. But it's a slim piece of property and it would actually match along with Kilburn's over there. it made sense. They took a look at the 12 standards and voted unanimously to rezone the property from an RA3 to M1. And there is nothing on the property now but a dilapidated garage that will be removed, and maybe a new garage will be put up in its place for storage vehicles.
Okay.
And just so, if you guys know, Amco's probably the nicest looking building on the
It's
Quincy.
really nice. Motion to approve.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
for point of order, I may have missed it. I don't know that we actually took a vote on the consent agenda. Motion was made and supported, and discussion was held.
Thought you did it all at one swipe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when does it?
I think you're right. I think we did miss that motion, sir.
Okay.
City Clerk,
Yeah.
speak loudly because we have no amplification. Did we actually take a vote on the consent agenda? Okay.
Okay. 1 through 13?
1 through 11.
1 through 11,
1 through
12, and
11.
13 being
Okay. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you. Boards and commissions?
Oh, wait a minute,
Or,
we need
two,
to, we still
Two,
have,
okay.
we have 2, we have 3, and we have
Let's keep
4
things good.
now. The second one is the approval of the contract to work with the Congress of New Urbanism, Jeff Campbell.
Yes, we were invited and applied along with several communities within the city of Detroit and suburbs close to Detroit for what is called the Congress of New Urbanism's Legacy Project. The Congress of New Urbanism is, for lack of a in brief summary, one of the 2 major schools of thought in planning, in modern planning, specifically smart growth out of Chicago being one, and new urbanism, which started in Florida but is based out of Chicago, being the other. This is the second year they've done the project. Last year they did it out in the Dallas, I believe Fort Worth was one, Galveston was another, but we were selected out of many applicants to look at the John R. Corridor plan. It is an honor. We will be showcased at the Conference of New Urbanism in June of this year, and we will actually have a professional team come out to Hazel Park April 15th through 17th, and we are looking for as much public participation, citizens, business owners, stakeholders, public officials, people like Jordan, people like Commissioner Zach to come out and participate in this process. I think it's a great opportunity not only to get some expert opinions from real experts in the field, but also get developers, planners, people really seeing what Hazel Park is and plans to be going forward.
Madam Mayor, the administration recommends approval of this contract. It's a small investment on our part, and I think that this investment will pay big dividends. As you're all well aware, we are kind of in the spotlight right now as one of the up-and-coming and emerging communities in the Metro Detroit area. And for us to be chosen for this, and it was a somewhat competitive process.
Yes.
It was actually rather highly competitive. The fact that the Congress of New Urbanism is having their convention in the city of Detroit this year in June, which hopefully you will all attend and participate in with us. I think that this is a plum for us, and I think we do it.
I move approval of allow the city manager to sign the contract with the Congress for New Urbanism.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And again, Madam Mayor, I want to thank Jeff Campbell for his hard work on this. He put the application package together and made the sell to the Congress of New Urbanism. There were other applicants. There were only so many.
3.
Okay, right. So we were chosen.
3 were chosen out of many. I also would be remiss, since Councilman Silman's not here, to talk briefly about the community health service thing at his, is it Salvation Temple Church? It's happening this Saturday, where they're doing blood testing, diabetes testing, things of that nature. I believe it's the 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 2500 North Chrysler Drive, 25,000 North Chrysler Drive. Remember the pastor was here.
Yes.
Right, sorry.
It's on
It-
Facebook.
It is on Facebook.
It
We'll-
is.
We'll make sure it's
Yeah.
on cable. And again, it's a great, thank you, Jeff, because that is a great way for somebody who may not have health insurance or may not have really good health insurance to be able to take advantage of a low-cost or no-cost health screening event. So please take advantage of that.
Now we're at
We are at item 3, which is the resolution.
oh, that.
And I'll read this into the record. Whereas Governor Snyder signed into law with immediate effect Public Act 269, also known as Senate Bill 571, despite widespread calls for a veto of this bill, including from members of his own party. And whereas both the Michigan State Senate and the Michigan House of Representatives passed Senate Bill 571 late into the night of December 16, 2015, just prior to recessing for the year. And whereas one of the last-minute amendments made to Senate Bill 571 without the knowledge of the Michigan Municipal League or other local government organization and approved without any public testimony or awareness was new language inserted into Section 57, subsection 3. And whereas this new law prohibits a public body or a person acting for a public body from using public funds or resources for the purpose of communicating any information to the electorate regarding a local ballot question that is to appear on the ballot within 60 days of an election. And whereas this law places an immediate gag order on entities with ballot questions on the March 8th ballot in every election thereafter. And whereas municipal elected and appointed officials have a civic and legal duty to the residents of their communities to fully inform them regarding the issues placed before them upon which they may exercise their constitutional right to vote. And whereas existing laws, including the former language in Section 57, and decades of guidance from the Michigan Secretary of State already prohibit the use of public funds to advocate for or against ballot issues. And whereas existing laws already provided for an allowance for elected and appointed officials to express their views without fear of violating the act. And whereas, because the new law bans only communication on local ballot issues, it creates inconsistent treatment of statewide ballot questions versus local initiatives. And whereas there are substantial questions regarding the constitutionality and legality of the new law, including a possible ban on freedom of speech. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Hazel Park calls for an immediate repeal of the new language of Section 57, subsection 3 of Public Act 269 of 2016. And now, therefore, be it finally resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the city's representatives in the Michigan House of Representatives and Michigan Senate, and also to the Governor of the State of Michigan.
Motion to approve.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Mayor, I would
Yes.
like to speak to this issue. I would urge everyone at home to contact their representative and to contact their senator, and also to let the governor's office know how outraged you are that they would pass something like this in an attempt to muzzle free speech in our community. This is one of the most egregious abuses of power that I have ever seen from the Michigan legislature, which unfortunately has a history of egregious abuses of power. This is, I believe, unconstitutional. It is one of the most vile pieces of legislation that I have ever cast my eyes upon since I have been city manager of the city of Hazel Park. I used to work for a legislator back in the 80s. I am not new to government. This is really bad. So I thank you for passing your resolution opposing this. This is not just saying that you cannot use city monies for an election. That's always been there. When mailings have gone out for the millage election in Smorsa, that was not paid for by the taxpayers of the city of Hazel Park. that was paid for by contributions to a committee from citizens and residents and unions. We can't and never have been able to spend money on sending you a piece of campaign literature or paying for a television ad to tell you to vote yes. What we can do as public officials is tell you why you should vote yes or should vote no on an issue, because if you do or you do not, this is what will happen. These are the ramifications of your vote one way or the other. I believe that is an important role for public officials to play in educating residents about ballot question initiatives before them. This is designed to do nothing more than to muzzle one class of officials, while another class of officials at the state level are free to speak out. It's absolutely, unbelievably unfair and a violation of, I think, the spirit of the democratic principles of this country.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, well, obviously, the idea of speaking up and letting people know what's going on doesn't enter into the equation.
Absolutely.
By evidence of the way they passed the bill. They started out with a 12-page piece of legislation that had bipartisan support that everybody agreed with. And then in the middle of the night, without public input, without hearings, without notification to the municipal league or any other organization that might have something to say about this, they passed this legislation and the governor signed it. My question is, and I try not to go to Lansing or even look that way, was there anybody who came up with an explanation as to why they thought this was a good idea?
No, they're strangely silent. In fact, nobody even wants to stand up and say, I'm the one that inserted it in there. All they give you is some BS revisionist nonsense where they try to say that, well, this really doesn't do what they think it does, and all this is just a ban on the spending of money on campaign propaganda. We've already had that. That is not what this is at all. This is a gross overreach of legislative authority trending into, a constitutional violation here like nothing I've ever seen in my life. And nobody will even step forward. We know who, we suspect who did it, who was the primary person who inserted it, but this was inserted by, at the request of certain legislative leaders from the west side of the state. And all indications that we had from the governor's office was that he was going to veto this bill. And we had a 3 o'clock meeting at the Michigan Municipal League scheduled with him. Our representative showed up to the meeting and he indicated that yes, he had signed the bill, but he had clarified it in his mind what it meant. Of course, that's not what the legislation says. And he had said that he would urge the legislative leaders to pass a fix. Well, the first fix that we got was absolutely worse than the initial bill that's been passed. So again, it's something we're keeping an eye on, but it is really, it's a travesty as it's been passed. I can't, I wanted to generate into profanity so bad, but since we're on cable TV and children might see this, I will hold my tongue. But this is one of the worst things that I've ever seen.
It just goes to show the arrogance that they have there to ignore the public right to speak up over an issue. That's why they have committee meetings, and that's why our voice is heard through the Michigan Municipal League. We pay into that fund. We're part of that organization, and they speak up for us when we're not able to. This is a tragedy here of our rights. Thank you for bringing that resolution to us.
Are we ready to boards and commissions?
No, now we have emergency
Just 13.
funding for the animal control.
Yes,
Justin
yeah,
Holland
13,
has
yeah.
requested a $5,000 emergency request to cover spay and neutering for unclaimed animals at the Hazel Park Animal Control Facility. Did you want to speak about that, Justin?
Good evening, Council and Madam Mayor. This $5,000 will basically guarantee that we're able to spay and neuter animals for the rest of the year. In addition to that, we get a rabies vaccination and distemper with the group that we go through for this. The 2016 grant was affected by my predecessor. The 2014 annual report wasn't filed correctly. That's the long and short of it, really.
Okay.
You guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If
And this should be able to carry you through to the rest of the budget year?
Yes, sir.
And then there would be future grants that would
Yes,
go
sir.
back into
We're
effect.
looking at this as a one-time thing.
Okay. Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I would move we adopt and pass the request.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I want to recognize Justin for doing a good job over there. I think things have really improved over there, and I think that we've got a good person running the show over there, and I also want to thank all of the volunteers that show up there, because Justin couldn't do this by himself, and I've already thanked Beth, and I'd like to get a list from you of volunteers so we could hand out some kind of recognition to them at maybe the next council meeting or future council meeting, so we could thank them for all the work that they're doing over there, because without those dedicated volunteers, we couldn't keep this operation going. And we're saving the
Absolutely.
lives of animals
Yes.
all the time, aren't we?
We've had 313, I believe, intakes this last year, and we haven't had to euthanize for space in over 10 years, and that's something that I would like to continue. So,
Pretty impressive, huh?
thank you very much, council. We really appreciate
And
this.
you're working with a lot of different organizations to, shelters to find homes for these animals, right?
Yes, sir. A lot of different rescues. There are specialty rescues for certain cats with illnesses. Cats are prone to a lot of lifelong illnesses like that. We've done a lot of specialty rescues that have been able to take them. Some as far as Grand Rapids.
Wow,
So,
good.
Justin, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. You guys have an excellent night.
Now it's, fourth.
Boards and commissions.
Yes. What's that? Madam Mayor, the administration recommends the appointment of the following individuals to the Hazel Park Arts Council. We would like to see Amy Aubrey, Alyssa Sullivan, Charlie Rasenga, and Don Beverlin appointed.
So move.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Madam Mayor, for the Historical Commission, we would like to appoint Chris Garapi.
That's it?
What's that?
That's the only one?
To Historical.
Okay.
We have some other appointments that are pending. They just need to get sworn in and
So move.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And then unless Councilman Webb objects, I have a planning commission appointment I'd like to recommend tonight. We have a commissioner that, has missed some time, and I think that it's time to thank him for his service. And I would like to recommend the appointment of Jacob Slevats to the planning commission.
So moved.
All in favor?
Is there support?
Motion carried.
With discussion.
Yes.
I would like to have a resolution drawn up for Mr. Holcomb and thanking him for his commitment and dedication for the continuous amount of years that he's been on the board. Many years,
Yes.
decades.
Yeah.
And wish him well and have him come to the next council meeting, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. New business, any?
Again, I just want to thank council for passing the resolution in opposition to that nasty piece of legislation. Cable went out for a few moments while we were discussing it, but it really is nothing less than a gag order. It really is just a shocking overreach there. And again, I just can't say enough about how bad it is. You participated in a goals and objectives session last night, all of you did. I want to thank you for sitting through that. I was very proud to show you, and I hope you were equally as proud of the work that our department heads have undertaken on your behalf in the past few years. Hazel Park really is turning a corner, and while I'm grateful to all the work that the employees did and all the work that my department heads have done, and again, I'll match my department heads and my employees against any governmental unit in this country. That's how good a job they do. But we wouldn't be able to do this if the residents hadn't have come out and overwhelmingly supported those 2 millages to stabilize our city's finances. So now we are heading in the right direction. We were the top 2 stories were Hazel Park stories for Oakland County's Metro Mode and Oakland County Prosper. Mabel Gray and Sellerman's have been hugely successful. We will be bringing you even more exciting announcements in the future. They're already breaking ground and driving in geopiers over at the racetrack for the largest redevelopment project in Oakland County this year. These are all positive things. We've redone 2 roads that were in deplorable condition. We have some other infrastructure repairs that we need to make. We already have some repairs that will be made to South John R that we've already paid for that they didn't get to make due to the weather last year. I think we're trending in the right direction, and we couldn't have done it without the help and the support of those residents, our residents. 2015 was an incredibly good year for us. I don't know that I can, deliver something like that every year. We're going to try. We're going to try to even top that, but what we were able to accomplish last year was nothing short of incredible. So my hats are off to my wonderful employees, my great department heads, and most of all, the residents of Hazel Park who laid the foundation for our financial stability. Our property values are increasing, a lot of interest in development. We're meeting with another chef tomorrow. Don't know if we'll be able to find him the right location, but that he's even looking at us because of what he's heard from Chef Regato and from the people at Sellerman's is exciting. So we'll continue to meet. We'll continue to try to bring exciting new businesses. But the most important thing, the reason why we do these things, is to improve the quality of life for the people who live in Hazel Park. I want this to be a great place to live. We have a better working arrangement now with the Hazel Park School District than at any time in my tenure as city manager. The new school board, the new administration, they're a breath of fresh air. They call me back, we talk. They're working hard there to put their finances right and to build an educational system that's great for the city. The Detroit Free Press ran a great article, and they talked about what's really important for a successful community. And what the authors came up with, and I agree wholeheartedly, is that it really is the basics. It's good city services, it's a good police department, it's a good fire department, it's a good code enforcement department, it's a good public works department that keeps infrastructure repaired, and it's a good school system. So hopefully, working together, we can continue to improve those basic services that are so important to the quality of life in the city. I serve at your pleasure. I thank you for the opportunity to be the Hazel Park City Manager. Thank you.
Was that new business?
That's it. I guess. Well,
Well, I just wanted to know if that
I
was
thought we were into
communication.
comments. I thought we were
We're still in new business.
No.
But speaking of new
done.
business, if I want to go back there,
Sure.
is the cable and sound system will be coming shortly.
It's on order.
It's on its order, and that way you can hear us better at home. That's all I want to
We will have a new system to amplify everyone's voice here in the courtroom, and we will have a new system to project the voices over cable TV, hopefully better. And then when we get this new system, we'll upgrade the cameras as well. We've been putting the meetings online, but they look bad. There's some strange lavender hue and these weird lines that look like it's something out of Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone that pop up there. So we're going to have the meetings on it, which should be much easier to put them on. They should look much better with this new equipment. Some of the equipment we have date back to the original installation in 1982. So, do you have a hodgepodge? Oh, yes, and also Jan wanted me to mention and bring up the renovations. Obviously, we're going to be renovating sections of the Hazel Park court area here for the 43rd District Court, and that will entail an addition to this building out towards John R. Those renovations will be paid for by revenues generated by the court, should cost the taxpayers of Hazel Park absolutely nothing. In the process, we will be doing the outside of the entire building and hopefully getting rid of the green glass, replacing it with something more modern. The top of the roof will hopefully no longer be falling off onto the sidewalk, and it will be a repair that
And the expansion of the court is also a mandate from the state
Again.
to make it better and more usable for the amount of traffic flow that we have for this court.
Right. We have
Doesn't meet
been,
any ADA requirements or anything
we
else.
have been under scrutiny from the Michigan State Court Administrator's Office for over 15 years because of inadequacies in our facilities. It's not really an option type of a situation. So we'll make these changes, and it's not going to be any better accommodations for the folks that are general city employees, but it will create some more space in the courtroom. And by doing that, it will maybe give us access to an extra conference room or something. But these are things that absolutely have to be done for the good working order of the court. So, and if we want to keep the court here, and again, keeping the court in this building is very important to us, because the last analysis that we did when they talked about consolidating courts to save money, another extraordinarily stupid program from the state of Michigan, that would have cost us over $600,000 a year if we would have moved that facility out of here, at least, just in overtime. So, not to mention lost revenue.
Lost revenues.
It was a disaster. So we were able to go to the legislature and kill that proposal. But one of the things that they cited in that proposal was the inadequacy of our facilities. So we'll put that right, and it won't cost the taxpayers anything. So.
Communications.
That was yours.
That was mine. I'm done.
The only thing I had briefly is, there was a question, Councilman Keaton, about the $5,000, whether that was gonna go through the fiscal year. That actually is the grants that are written for that are from January to December. So that 5,000 will cover a January to December of 2016 time.
Yeah, the only thing.
So hopefully we don't have to come back to you again.
They'll get back in
after
the
July
same-
1st.
Well, even if you do, they're gonna get back into the grant cycle.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was concerned.
Yeah, well, we're hoping that.
That once they got out, they weren't barred or anything, so.
Correct.
That's
Yep.
good.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Strum?
Nothing?
Nobody?
Nope, okay. I guess it's us.
Yes.
How about you first?
Okay, I'd just like to ask for a legal opinion. When we get the new sound equipment and the TV and the website, so people can actually see us and hear us, we're not going to get in any trouble from the legislature, are we? I mean, because we're not secretive enough, and just wanted to know.
Strangely,
Gotta be careful around
strangely
here.
enough, they reference television, but they don't reference digital video communication or anything like that. So this whole thing was just a crackpot bunch of nonsense that they threw together at the last second to shut everybody up that may not always agree with them.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and participating in our democratic process here. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Andy LaCuro?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I wanted to echo Beth Holland's sentiments about the meeting last night, the goals and objectives meeting last night. It has always been, it's a broken record, Hazel Park is a team. And whether it's the voters, the administration, the elected officials, all the residents, schools, it takes teamwork. And everybody's part of the team. One of the feelings I got from all of the department heads is they're thinking outside the box. They take the lead from Mr. Klobuchar, who's done plenty of that. But it's not just a paycheck to these folks. They care about the city. They care about what's going on. The volunteers, send the message too, is that everybody cares about what's going on. I wanted to thank everybody for coming out, and I wanted to recognize Beth's also part of the team.
Thank you. Councilman Webb?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out this evening, and Happy New Year, and hope everybody has the Powerball tomorrow. But I'd like to thank all of our volunteers. Without our volunteers like Beth and our Lions Club members and different organizations in our community, we wouldn't be where we are today. And I also like to bring up our department heads and their selflessness to dedicate their time here and help out without pay some of them on their own time. They get their regular pay, but sometimes they spend hours of their own time coming in to help out and can help make their budgets and help out their own employees in their departments get accomplish their goals. You could see that last night at our goal and budget session, sort of what they were asking for, some newer used equipment. Like if we have the money allocated for this or that, maybe we can move on with another project. This just shows you the dedication they have from all of our employees, all the way to the smallest guy and the lowest ranking employee we have. They have that goal in mind. And all of our department heads, most of them have come up through the ranks and they've learned how to adjust accordingly to their budgets and make the budgets work for everybody here so all the departments can thrive and we can sit here and represent our residents here and say, hey, we're doing the best job we can. We have the best people in place. We have a good department head here that is leading the rest of his department heads to move on and say, this is what we got to do. And without the villages passing and everything else that's happened in our community, I would say we wouldn't be here today, but I'm thankful that we are and able to, and stronger than ever with all the new development coming in. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year. I have some residents that would like to see concerts this year, so I think that would be a great thing. So we got to get some money up and do something like that this summer maybe, or fall. So, but have a good evening, everyone.
Madam Mayor, I will share a text from you from my wife, who texted me during my comments. Her text was, OMG, shut up, I'm starving.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
So no executive session.
Okay. So, right. Thank you.
Think about the idea of maybe